Hello, and welcome to my QTP video tutorial, where I will be showing you how to add a new data table parameter. In this video, I will be answering the following two questions. First, what does it mean to add a parameter to a data table? And second, what are some ways to add a data table parameter? And in that, I'll show you three different ways. First, by using the DataTable.AddSheet method. Second, by using the DataTable.getSheet method. And third, by adding it manually. As a reminder, to stay up to date with my latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button above. This now moves us to our first topic, which asks the question, what does it mean to add a parameter to a data table? To understand what it means to add a parameter to a data table, we first need to know what a data table parameter is. A data table parameter is a column in a data table. I'll now flip over to QTP to show you the default setup of a data table. As you can see, the data table is located in the bottom half of the window. It looks a lot like a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. You'll notice the column headers at the top of the data table. The first column's name will show as A, the second column's name will show as B, and so on in alphabetical order. Although these values look like column names that you can reference, they actually are not. To be able to reference these columns by name, you'll need to give them a name. This now moves us to our second topic, which asks the question, what are some ways to add a data table parameter? To add a parameter in a data table, we can either add a parameter to a data table that already exists, or we can create a new data table and then add a new parameter to it. The first example I'll show you is by creating a new data table and then adding a new parameter in that new data table. To do this, I'll begin by typing the word data table, and then a period. Once you type the period, you'll notice that there'll be a drop-down list appear with several options. Since we're looking to create a new data table, you should double-click the entry for Add Sheet. Should then type an open parentheses, quotation mark, and then the name of a new data table that you want to create. For our purposes, I'll just use the word test. Once you've typed in the name of the new data table that you would like to create, type a quotation mark, then a closing parentheses. Now for more information on how to use the DataTable.AddSheet method, feel free to reference one of my other videos where I go into more information about how to use that. We now need to type in a period. Once you've done that, you'll notice that a drop-down list will appear and it will show several options. We need to double-click the Add Parameter entry. Once you do that, you'll notice that the drop-down list will go away and the words Add Parameter will now be in your script. You now need to hit the space bar to create a space, type an open quotation, and then the name of the new parameter that you want to create. For our purposes, I'll just use the word first. Whenever you've completed entering the name of the new parameter you would like to create, type another quotation mark, comma. Now we have the option to be able to have the script enter a value in the first row of our new parameter for us if we would like. You do not have to do this, it's an optional feature. If you would rather not add a new value into the first row of the new parameter, you can simply just type quotation mark, quotation mark. However, if you would like to insert a new value into the first row of the new parameter, instead of leaving the value empty between the two quotation marks, you can actually type in a value. So for our example, I'll just type in the word John. Now in this line of script, what we've said is we want to add a new data table by the name of test. We then want to add a new parameter in that new data table by the name of first. And then on the first row of that new parameter, we want to add a value of John. Now once we've entered this line of code, we need to enter a filler line down beneath on a second line of the script. The reason for this is whenever we do the add sheet method and then the add parameter method, it's only going to add a new runtime data table and a parameter in that runtime data table. So once the test run stops, the new data sheet will go away and we will not be able to see it anymore. So that we can pause the script to see it, I'm going to enter a wait statement. A wait statement pauses a script's execution by the number of seconds that you put in the parentheses. At this point, I'll now run the test in debug mode so that we can see the new data table get created. To run the test in debug mode, you can hit the F11 key on your keyboard. You'll then be presented with a run window. At this point, you can either click the OK button or hit the Enter key. Once the script's background turns to gray, that means that the script is actually running. Now, to progress through the script while you're running in debug mode, you need to hit the F11 key to jump from line to line to line. So I'll go ahead and hit the F11 key now to go ahead and move through the first line. Once I do that, you'll notice we have now created a new data table with the name of test. We've created a new parameter by the name of first, and we have placed a value in the first row of the newly created parameter with a value of John. So that now validates that we were able to successfully create a new data table, create a new parameter in that new data table, and then also assign a value in the first row of that new parameter. So I'll go ahead and hit the F11 key now just to go ahead and move on through the second line of the script. This moves us to the second way in which we can add a new parameter. Now, in this manner, we would be adding a new parameter to a data sheet that already exists. So to show you this, I'll delete off the first line. We'll begin again by typing the word data table, then a period. This time we'll now double click the entry for get sheet, type an open parentheses, quotation mark, and then the name of the data table that we want to add a parameter to. For this purposes, we'll use the global data table. So I'll type in the word global. Once you finish typing in the name of the data table that you would like to create the new parameter in, type another quotation mark, a closing parentheses, a period, and then we'll double click the add parameter entry again. Now, quite like before, we'll hit the space bar to create a space, quotation mark, and again this will be the name of the parameter that you would like to create. So again we'll use the word first. Once you finish typing in the name of the new parameter you want to create, type a quotation mark, a comma, a quotation mark, and again as before when I showed you using the add sheet method, you have the ability to add a value in the first row of the newly created parameter. So again as before, I'll enter the word John, but if you wanted to leave that value empty, you just would not enter any value, is what I've done here, just by using two quotation marks. We're now ready to run our script again in debug mode. Again, to do this, hit the F11 key, click the OK button, or hit the Enter key when you're presented with a run window. Hit the F11 key to move through the first line of the script. We can now see in the global data table we have created a new parameter with the name of first, and we've set a value of John in the first row. So that now validates that we were able to take an existing data table, add a new parameter into it, and then assign a value into the first row of that new parameter. I'll now hit the F11 key to move through the wait statement that we created so that we can end the script's execution. The third way that you can add a data table parameter is to do it manually. To do it manually, you need to double click one of the column headers. For example, here in the global data table, I'll hover my mouse over the letter A and then double click. You'll be presented with a change parameter name window. There's one input on the window and it says data table column name. Quite like before, how we used the parameter name of first, I'll do that again now. So in this input, type in the name of the parameter that you want to create. You can then either click the OK button or hit the Enter key. Once you do that, the window will close, and you'll now see that where you had double-clicked, that parameter's reference name has changed from whatever the letter had been to the name that you had typed in. So you can now see that the parameter's name is first. This now concludes our video, where I've answered the following two questions. First, what does it mean to add a parameter to a data table? And second, what are some ways to add a data table parameter? And in that I showed you three ways. First, by using the DataTable.AddSheet method. Second, by using the DataTable.getSheet method. And third, by adding it manually. As a reminder, to stay up to date with my latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button above. Thank you, and I hope that you have a great day.